So I'm guessing this 2025 you actually want to achieve your goals and make this year better than the last, right? But maybe you don't have a clue where to start. And maybe you didn't end up where you wanted to be last year and now you're left feeling demotivated going into this year. Well, if you could only do 3 things differently this 2025, here's what I did to achieve my goals in 2025 of hitting 13,600 subscribers on my YouTube channel and landing my first 3K monthly high-paying clients for my business. And I'm going to show you how you can take those exact same steps to achieve whatever goals you have in 2025. And no, I'm not going to tell you what New Year's resolutions you must have on your list like every other 2025 YouTuber is going to tell you. And no, this is not another one of those videos where they just shout at you for not achieving your goals. But over the next few minutes, I'm just going to give you 3 things that you can do differently to achieve whatever goals, milestones, or New Year's resolutions that you have for this new year. And by the end of this video, you should have a clearer plan of where you want to go and where you want to be. And look, you might be thinking, well, it might be too late to change. Like, I know we are just only a few days into 2025, so don't worry, there is still time. And don't worry, even if you didn't get to where you want to be last year, it's okay. I want you to forget about all the struggle. I want you to forget about the stuff that you didn't get to do. I want you to forget about last year and the years before. Just forget about them, because this year is the year that's going to be completely different, and you wouldn't be watching this video otherwise. Now, before I actually get into the 3 things that you can do differently, I just wanted to first say every single year before 2024 and 2025 for me has been absolutely terrible. Like, every year would just go by like another. I would never achieve the goals that I wanted. I wouldn't make any progress. But until the start of last year, and I went from having years where everything was the same, I was the same person. I used to be really insecure, but then when I had 2024 and I actually did these things, I completely flipped myself, which sounds bad. I didn't flip myself. I flipped the person I used to be to who I am now, but you get the point. I made the most progress I'd ever made. And I know it sounds like an overstatement, but that was actually the best year I had. And it was 3 things that I did that I'm now taking away from 2024 that I'm going to be going into 2025 with, that you can also take for yourself. So, pull out my notepad. The first different thing is this. So, last year, I went into 2024 thinking that it was going to be an amazing year, and it was going to be the best year I had, and I went into there having such high expectations of the year. And yeah, I did achieve my goals, but the thing is, none of that was a walk in the park. And my point is that now going into 2025, I know for well it's not going to be a walk in the park. And you probably don't want to hear this, but just think about it. Every single year that's been by, there's always been at least some sort of struggle, even if some of the years were better than others. There's always gonna be some sort of struggle, whether or not. And the reason why I say this as the first thing to do differently is, instead of going into the year thinking, well, this is going to be absolutely perfect, nothing's going to go wrong, having such high expectations is kind of bad in a way and can actually drag you down. Because when you have such high expectations of something, and something like a setback happens, or you have a mistake, or you struggle, it can demotivate you and actually make you want to work less. And so I don't want that for you. And so for me, one of the biggest things is accepting that you're gonna go through struggle, you're gonna have mistakes, you're gonna have setbacks, and accepting that is probably one of the biggest reasons why I've been able to make such a difference in 2024 from all the years that I've had. And it's okay if in 2025 your year isn't gonna be full of sunshines and rainbows where everything, every day, every week, every month is going to be absolutely perfect. Just think about it. No story is created perfectly. Think about every single story from every successful person in the world, even people that you might look up to. They always have some sort of struggle. So I'm not saying have low expectations, but all I'm saying is don't have super high expectations, so that you don't feel demotivated when you have setbacks. Okay, now let's move on to the second thing. And this is why, every year ended up being the exact same for me. Right. Let me show you. This is the second thing to do differently. So I want you to imagine, right? I just want you to imagine for a second. Just think about this. Imagine a ship, right? And this is a ship at sea, but this ship has absolutely no direction of where it's gonna go. And the captain has no bloody clue where the ship's going, where they're going, right? Now ask yourself, where do you think that ship is gonna go? Where do you think it's gonna end up? Absolutely nowhere, and likely in the same exact place, right? The reason why I wanted you to imagine a ship is because this is kind of the same thing when you're going into 2025, because if you don't want to end up having the same old year where you stay in the exact same place, you might want to make sure that you have a clear destination of where you want to end up at the end of this new year. I mean, you get what I mean, right? So I'm going to give you a little exercise that you can do, which I'll show you what I've done in a minute. But what you're going to do is you're going to write down exactly, the type of person you want to be by the end of 2025, or where you want to be as a person. So, I've written down sort of like an action plan of where I want to be by the end of 2025. You probably can't see it. It's okay. It's fucking blurry, but you get what I mean. It's a little destination, kind of like a goal. They're kind of like goals, milestones, New Year's resolutions, I guess. And for example, for me, obviously I've already hit my 13,000 subscriber goal. I want to take it to like flipping, 30K. And, you can do this right now. It's really, really simple. You don't have to go crazy. I don't know why people go crazy over this, but you just need to write down. Really, really simple. But yeah, let's move on to the last and final thing. And this final different thing actually pairs up really well with the second one that I just showed you. And if you get this right, getting to that destination that you write down is going to be a lot more faster and a lot more easier. Now, I'm not promising it's going to be like super fast and really, really easy, but you get the point. You'll get what I mean in a minute. And well, how do I know this? Because this is exactly what I did to achieve my goals last year. Now, look, if you're thinking, well, last year I didn't achieve the goals I wanted. I didn't end up where I wanted to be, and now I feel really like demotivated, and I don't know if I can get to that destination by the end of this year. And look, you're not alone. I felt that exact same way the past few years, but just ask yourself, what would you rather, not do anything and, end up the same at the end of this year, or at least try something different and, be at least somewhat closer to where you want to be? And so if you pick the second option, here is how to basically do that. So think about the goals that you want to achieve, right? Think about the goals that you want to achieve. Think about the milestones you want to hit. Think about the New Year's resolutions that you have. And I want you to ask yourself, how are you going to get there? What's your plan? Do you have a plan? Maybe you just thought of it, but do you have some sort of plan to get there? Now, if the answer is, I don't know, then how are you going to get to that destination by the end of the year if you do not have some sort of clear path to follow? Because here's the thing, every year for me where I didn't achieve the goals I wanted to, I never achieved those goals because I never had an action plan to achieve those goals. Everyone has got New Year's resolutions. Everyone's got goals they want to hit. Everyone's got aspirations. Everyone's got New Year's resolutions. But the thing is not everyone actually gets there because they don't have an action plan in place. And that's just the reality from, my own experience as well. And so a simple exercise that I'm going to give you, which you compare with the last one that I just showed you. For example, I want to hit 30K subscribers on my YouTube. I have some sort of action plan to get there. And so actually, that's funny. I've got this actionable list. Let me show you. This is like a self-improvement plan that I've written because this is something that I really want to improve on this year. And I've written a little plan. And listen, you don't need to go crazy, write a whole big piece of paper. But it's just an action plan that I want to do every single day, so that I can, stay accountable and actually follow it, so that I actually achieve the goals that I basically want to by the end of the year. But once you have all these 3 steps in place, you should be closer or where you want to be by the end of 2025. And as you can see, that is so damn simple. If what I shared with you today actually helped give you more clarity going into 2025, then make sure to leave a comment or a like if you want. But other than that, I hope you crush 2025, and I'll see you in my next video.